Let's get this show on the road. Let's go. Boom, baby. Boom. Rise and shine. It's that morning motivation time, baby. I'm in the streets, headed to the gym. I figured I'd get it in because I got some shit to do as I get back in. That's what it takes, man. It takes getting shit done. It takes having a control over your emotions so that you can make way to get your shit done. You know, it's one thing when a person is already set, when their intentions are there and they're like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something with my life. I'm going to do something with my time. I'm going to do something with an idea. And all of us have one, but not all of us actually do something with it. What will end up happening is we'll end up being emotional with it. And that's a tough spot to be in because emotionally, you'll make decisions based off of the way that you feel. Now, they say all the time that your mind, go ahead, pigeon, that your mind, we are what we think, right? So in secret, there's a lot of secret thoughts going on right there. And that's why I've made this one say emotional people. As I walk around the city, there's a lot of people with really nice clothes on or eating expensive dinners or, staring at the yachts. And I was there chilling, smoking with the yachts yesterday, looking at opulence like I've never seen in my life and realizing that there are some people that are without anything and stressing and biting their fingernails off and really without really without, down and out. They've never seen money like that before. And then there's people on the other end that live that way. And it's shocking, the disparity. You could have dinner on the end of your yacht with your family, but then you can also have people like me come by and take photos and there's no privacy. Like, I would eat in the middle of the ocean if I had a boat. I don't know why these people have to park at the dock with the other boats, right next to the other boats, right next to the expensive restaurants. And that's when it tunes in. For most of us, all of us, we're emotional creatures. If we feel insufficient at all, if we feel like our pocketbooks don't measure up, our height doesn't measure up, our looks don't measure up, we'll be shifty. We live in a world where we're like, oh, well, the tall people date the tall people and the rich people get richer. And we live in this world together, and it's not an easy thing. Let's just keep it real. It's not easy looking at somebody with that kind of extreme wealth, feeling some sort of jealousy of the wealth, and then not being able to participate in it is a separation, There's something about it as us as people where we don't have equality. We don't have the same temperaments. Most of us have different star signs. Some of us are really tight with the money and frugal. Some of us are really spendy with it and spend what we don't have. We do these things out of emotions. Like, literally, if you don't feel like you're loved enough, boom, you're off to the races buying a purse that you probably shouldn't be spending money on. And that's a difficult thing because in our minds, in our bodies, oh, this is so cool. I love this artist. It's so real. So real. Let me take a photo. Flip it around. Yeah. Let me take a photo. 1 second. Art is live. There we go. Boom, baby. Boom. And I'll show you the streets as we walk to the gym. Something that the gym has been able to give me is a bit of clarity. I had realized that I hadn't allowed myself to forgive myself. I wasn't given a lot of forgiveness as a child, and I didn't have the understanding that life has mistakes written all in it. For me, I just kept being myself, and myself was really emotional. I used that energy to make me do things that I wouldn't normally do. I get down on myself, like I was talking about performance anxiety yesterday. Like, oh, you didn't get 10 sales today. You didn't sell 20 cars this month. You didn't hit your numbers. You didn't hit your quota. Drive. And that kind of particular ass whooping or ass chewing I was giving myself was literally pushing me in an emotional position of lack. I didn't feel like I had done enough, you know? I don't feel like I pushed enough or sold enough or was tall enough or made enough money. And those reflections were literally there yesterday when everybody was. This cool little old chick on this bike. Measuring their dick. You know, everybody's out there like, fuck, how much money can I make to get what I need to get? How much money does it take for me to be who I need to be? And that's a real tough question, because most of us, we're just going like, I feel like I want it. You know? Someone else has it. How do I get it? How do I? And we're surrounded by images that'll trigger our emotions too. We're here by the bridge. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. And take me to the place I love. Take me all the way, yeah. Whoa, no, I said, yeah. And that's what it is. You know, taking ourselves on emotional journeys. We go inside of ourselves and constantly pump ourselves full of emotions that come from thoughts. And those thoughts start triggering all those emotions. And they literally, like a dog, walk us in certain directions. They move us to do certain things. And you'll be like, well, what are those secret things? What are those secret emotions that happen that make us do what we do? And that's what I really wanted to tune in on. Coca-Cola's everywhere. Was tuning in to the way that I was talking to myself. So, you know, in my life, yeah, dude, I can roll up to a yacht and be like, damn, I need one of them. Now, before I ever came here, I didn't have any desire to have a yacht. My buddy's got a 62-footer at Lake Mead. Let them spend all the money to ship it, 25 grand to ship it all the way from Kentucky to Las Vegas. You know, one nut, bam. Just putting down money after money, all the gas, all the tickets. You name it, it comes with it. And that's what ended up happening. Look at this little rice rocket coming through. You know, that's what ends up happening is we end up being triggered by the things that we don't have and things that we want, and we don't even realize it. Let me get off this busy ass street. Luckily, your boy's saying up in the gym for the win. I think this has been a week straight, but who's counting? I just want my mental health. My buddy was starting to bitch in the morning, and it's like, as soon as I hear him bitch, I'm out. You know, I just get out and do my own thing. Yeah. Maybe I can get next to somebody here on the treadmill. Welcome to my world. Welcome to your boy Saint. There's the water bottle. There's the start. There's the hat. There's the glasses. blown my nose in my own shirt just so I could breathe. And normally I'm on that treadmill, but I didn't want to be next to anybody and start the show being all up in someone else's ear, triggering their emotions and triggering their reactions. And a lot of that has to do with what we're doing, you know, triggering ourselves. And a lot of the stuff will come outside of ourselves, but our regular responses are already chosen. Like, we already chose that if someone breaks up with us, it's going to be devastating and we're going to feel horrible. Some people do the opposite thoughts and go, well, now I'm free again. I'm without that drama. I'm without that person. I'm without those emotional triggers. And that's a tough sport because we all live kind of in emotional city, right? We live inside of ourselves, and if we feel a certain way, let me turn on this Wi-Fi here. If we feel a certain type of way, we're going to act a certain type of way. So really, we shouldn't call them emotions. We should call them actions in waiting, because they're about to happen. Have somebody spill some hot coffee on you and watch your emotions happen. Have somebody break up with you and watch your emotions happen. We always ask ourselves, how's this girl pounding on a window outside of her ex-boyfriend's apartment? Well, because he's in there with another girl. Boom. You wouldn't act that way. You just wouldn't. And that's the tough part. Is like most of the time we're acting out of emotions and we don't know how emotional we are and we don't know why we're reacting the way that we are, but we do. And next thing you know, we're on that roller coaster of emotions and we're screwed. And that's something I had to have the conversation about, because every 80% of our decisions are made based off of emotions. What triggers it? What images, what actions, what events makes us tick or tick off or take off or flight or fight or freeze? There's so many options that the human emotions and the stability of us are based off of the way you are. I see people raising children in the streets, and you'll see a child like say some shit and like drag their arm and just give up on life, and their poor parents have to carry this wailing, nasty ass kid all the way around the street looking embarrassing, and this kid just lost their ass and just lost their life, and they're so exasperated. They're just on the ground, and the parents are like, come on, man, you're fucking up my chi. And a lot of time, that's what it is. We're fucking up our own chi. We're fucking up our own stability and our mental clarity for us to think and act the same. For the nights before, I was having so much fun hanging out with the homies. I didn't even look at the watch, really. I was looking at the times. I knew it would have been 10:30. I knew it would have been 11:30 was the last bus, but fucking around with the girl, she told me, she was like, well, I made the decision 5 minutes ago, and I just didn't let you know. And it was just like, there was no accountability or responsibility. She went back to the, I'm single, I live this life, I live here, and I don't make any plans with anybody. It's my single life. I don't have to explain to anyone. And I said, well, if you explain to me that we were supposed to be on the bus together, that's what I'm going to believe. And that's what I was led to believe. And our emotions lead us into temptation, that we can dive into arguments that we don't belong in, situations we don't belong in, and purchases we don't belong in. And at the time, when I'm staring at a yacht and everybody's outside and, you know, taking pictures of these beautiful, expensive boats, you can sit there and compare. You can get on it yourself and just be like, why don't I have a yacht? Why don't I have a family? Why don't I have the jealousy that comes with it? And then you have to ask yourself, what do I get out of that? What do I get out of making other people jealous? What do I get out of having a boat just like someone else? Is there something in me that makes me jealous and chasing something else? You gotta ask yourself those questions. It's like, am I chasing someone else's wealth? Am I chasing someone else's dream? Am I chasing jealousy or something extreme? And that's a lot of us. We'll chase. and not realize what we're really after. And I wanted to know, while I was chasing, before I became a dog chasing a bone or a ball or just running with my frisbee, why was I running? And where am I running to? What am I running away from? A lot of people go, oh, you travel a lot. It must be because you're single, or you own your own business, or maybe you don't have any friends to go back to. That's not true. Part of me goes like, I want to be in Burning Man right now. I want to go to the burn with my friends and be a part of that journey. And I'm not. My journey is somewhere else. My body's somewhere else. My mind is somewhere else. And therefore, I'm not there. Have I ever been on the other end where I had purchased something and I was like, why am I purchasing this? Why did I just spend all this money, $50 fucking dollars, on a taxi? Well, the truth is not only did I just earn some money so I could afford it, but I didn't want to be stuck in the city. The friends that I was there with, the new people that I just met, if anything, they didn't go, hey, I got an extra room, or dude, that sucks, or no, it was all like, that's life. You got to deal with it. And that's what I'm saying to you. Our lives are the way we deal with them. We can shuffle up and deal. We can count cards. We can be extremely anal and count every stick and movement and every dollar spent. And then there'd be living in the moment with just our friends and wanting to buy a round of drinks or cover the meal or cover the taxi. That's where we're at. We're in a world where we don't know exactly where our emotions come from or exactly how the human brain works. All we know is like we're like a child out there. All of a sudden it's like, oh, emotions, someone else come take care of them for me. And now we're adults and our parents aren't around to take care of our emotional stability. It's not their job to take care of our food, our environment, or our safety. And that's a huge reason why I have to have this conversation this morning is if you don't feel safe, you're going to make irrational decisions to feel safe. And if you don't feel rich, then you're going to make irrational decisions to feel rich. And one of those irrational decisions is buying things we can't afford, competing with people we don't even know. And for what? And it comes down to jealousy, envy, gluttony, pride. So many of these 7 deadly sins that kill things, that actually kill things, kills life, kills emotions, kills momentum. Like, you can try and be out there and be like, oh yeah, I worked out. I think about it too. I work out all week long. And then all of a sudden I'm eating a pizza and drinking a beer afterwards, kind of fucking up my own momentum. And that's a tough thing to say. Who's been drilling holes in my canoe? Who's the one that's responsible for these purchases? Who's the one that's responsible for these earnings? I've been watching this one dude, Elliot dude, another motivational guy, all about sales. And you know what? Life is a lot about sales. There's a lot of negotiating and emotional stability and perspective to get another human being to understand your perspective. And it was tough because I used to sell cars too, and I used to be a juice head and wanting to be just extreme body, extreme sales, and everything's extreme. Life's not that extreme. You can't live that way. I think his heart is going to explode. And who does? Let's say all my friends that were in sales, they all were extremely good at sales, but extremely bad at life. You go to any of their cars, any of their homes, thrashed. I mean, they literally had the newest cars. It would suck to get John Barr's car because you knew he was smoking a cigarette in there, throwing trash in there, like, fast food and all this other shit. He just trashed the whole thing. Now, if he was on camera, now all of a sudden his hair looks good. He looks like John Bon Jovi. He's got the spiky hair, whatever that dude is from the 80s. He's looking like White Wedding, whoever that is, and pushing it, right? Pushing this things to the limit to make it look like he was this personality that we see on TV. What we don't see is the reality of things. Like, who'd the dude have to fucking steal on from a business to get that yacht? We don't know. We just see the end results. We don't see the weeks of starving ourselves so that way we could look like we got abs. No, we just see fight night, Two dudes show up, knock each other out 5 seconds. You didn't see the 8 weeks of starvation. You didn't see the last 6 months of working out and rehabbing the knee. We don't see these things, and therefore we're led to lies. We're led to believe that TV is real, that the movie stars are real, their lives must be real. They can't have relationship issues. They can't have weight issues. They can't have money issues. And it's like, yeah, they can. And they do. And that's all of us. So, for all of us to be that 80% of emotional purchases, or that accidents happen and it's not always so smooth, or, who knows how we're going to wake up in the morning and what kind of mood we're going to be in. That was what I learned yesterday, was, catching myself before I get emotional, before I get competitive, before I bite my teeth into something and I'm lockjawed on it. Now all of a sudden I could be free to make my own decisions under my own fruition. Not because I'm wishing that I have someone else's life, and not because I'm jealous that I have someone else's wife, not because I want something because of envy or jealousy, but because I move me. Okay, you want the real morning motivation? I move me. I move me in situations that I think I can grow. Someone tells me, dude, you're the only one selling the Tyson wraps in Europe. Boom, I'm engaged. I see an opportunity. I'm like, I'm the only one doing it? Let's do it. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, I need 10 other thousand people before I even step up and start something. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Me being the first one to the trough gets me excited. Lets me know that I'm developing a new market. My friend in Thailand sent me all this information about weed and how the market's already been overflown in Thailand, and so many people oversaturated the market, and people are going bankrupt already. And I said, that's cool, because I want to sell the picks and shovels. I want to be the guy like Rockefeller who doesn't sell the oil, he sells the barrels that the oil goes in. And that's what you're going to need. You're going to need to be the guy that supplies the guy that's already successful. And I'm sitting here with a successful company, like the name brand Mike Tyson, being the only one that could sell it, being in Europe, and not just sit around in Europe, but do something with it. Go bring it to Thailand. Show my friends. They can help me too. I got a friend in Spain. I got a friend in Finland. I got a friend in Thailand. I got point people that are in the game that are interested. So am I. Like, is anyone else selling it? No, we're the only ones doing it. Right now, we're exclusive in Europe and Asia. I'm pushing products for all my friends. Have I got any sales yet? No. I'm doing this without experience. I'm doing this as a challenge to myself to not just sit around, go to the gym, go to the beach, and sleep on my buddy's couch. No, I'm here to start a business, an international one at that. And I got my business cards done. I'm getting the website done, and I already walked around and started the sales process. So as soon as I get my little samples in my hand, come Monday, today's Saturday, come Monday, I'm going to knock on all the doors that I knocked on before and ask them if they have these products. I already know the answer because I'm the only one selling them. And be prepared to sell them on it and get some kind of sales, some kind of funnel, some sort of form of income, and not be emotional. Not show up talking about my ex and my broken heart and all the money I don't have. And nobody's going to buy a car from that guy. Nobody's going to buy a car from somebody that's emotionally triggered and doesn't have control. And that's what that other guy was pushing Elliot. It's like, look, I have control over my finances. I got a control over my physique. I got control over my mind. You're going to want to do business with me. And that's what they portray, This guy, they don't want to admit it, but sex sells. If you look healthy enough and you have that look, like you can get something accomplished. And if I hand you money, you're not going to go off and be a junkie and go drink it away or eat it away or piss it away. Then you're going to get trusted. I mean, like, this guy comes through. This is the person that shows up and does what they say they're going to do. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for congruency. We're looking for things to be linear, that this isn't just one random event, that this one person got really emotional because they were really drunk. How many of us have been on the edge of a party, sitting there on a curb, crying our eyes out because we're having a conversation with someone that makes us emotional? I've been there. I walk past it. I see people doing it all the time. They're literally wrapped up in their emotions. And for some of us, that's what we wear. We wear everything on our emotional sleeve, like our heart on our sleeve. And if someone comes over and just breathes wrong, or things aren't the way that we want them to be, we're blown off course. And we're sputtering out in the ocean, no direction, just losing days, losing time, losing supplies. So my point is that you're only going to have so much energy to be the type of person that you want to be able to zone yourself in and say, hey, I'm going to do this with my energy today, instead of my emotions saying, this is how this day is going to be. That's a big thing, because if it was left up to me and my emotions, it kept me in my bed, kept me not brushing my teeth, kept me depressed, kept me counting the ceiling and how many popcorns were on the ceiling. There was a lot that my mind was like, I don't feel like smiling. I'm waiting for this moment that someone's going to come rescue me and give me the energy so that I can be me. And you can be you anytime you want to be. You don't have to wait for that moment. You just have to engage yourself. And it might be as simple as just getting up off the couch and walking outside, and you're like, well, what do I wear? You're already thinking too much. You know, you're already too emotional for this process. This process is very direct. It's taking action so that you don't have regret. And that's the biggest solution. I don't want anybody to be depressed, but not everybody wants to work out. And I don't want anybody to have regret, but not everybody wants to take action. And in that emotional control, sitting there and go, okay, me, I am me. I'm inside this body. I'm inside this mind. I say what this body does. Move, boy, move. And get yourself to be able to move in a direction instead of sitting and reflecting. That's a tough sport. That's that shit. That's that shit. And if we can stay on our shit, then we can stay in our minds, in our lives, in a healthy version of ourselves, instead of the person that wants to show up and wait for someone to bring them their energy, or wait for something good to happen before they can smile. Can you find something to smile about today? Can you motivate yourself to move? Can you be the type of person that loves their life without regard of the external, without reflecting on someone else's, what they got or what we perceive that they have, and start counting our blessings instead of our stressings? It's a real mind fuck. It's a real art. There's a real energy shift to say, I'm going to focus on this instead of that. God bless you on it, you know? May the gods smile upon you. May they give you the energy and light that it takes to live this life. And stop regretting past mistakes. That's one of the things I key in on. I work hard on that. Stop waking up in my mind and go, emotional check. Let me see what's going on. I do a physical check, that I'm breathing, that I'm practicing my breathing, that I'm stretching, and that I'm encouraging myself to get up and go. And that's going to be the toughest thing to do, is that self-encouragement, that motivation. And once you get that in you, then you're motivated. Now you got motivated juice, and you got the juice to be able to go and do the long hours and get up earlier and continue your workouts and continue sweating and pushing, because now you're using it as fuel. It's not the explosion, it's the rocket fuel. And that's what I wanted people to have, because you're going to have emotional days. We are emotional peoples. That's just how we are wired. But what we do with that energy, do we turn it into trajectory? Do we make it into a rocket that blasts off and leaves this planet? Or do we turn into the Challenger and explode before we even leave the atmosphere? Choice is really up to you. I wish there was a different way. It's not that way. You got to do the work and will yourself to work. And that's what it is. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing the work. I'm grateful. I got the benefits from it. I'm not as emotional, and I'm not running all over the place, driving myself crazy. I'm making myself unlazy and determined and focused. And I'm still the same person. I still have the same emotions. I'm just doing something differently with them. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share this with a friend that needs that boost. That's why I do it. I reach, preach, and teach to people so that way they can do it too. And that's called sharing. And that is caring. And now I'm sweating. And I'm out. Peace.